Hi, I'm Jeff Wilson. Welcome back to University of Life, and thanks for joining us. University of Life provides business and life skills to help you create your dream job. Now, last time we talked about the step-by-step process to actually map out your dream job. If you haven't done so already, please do the exercise. Creating your dream job or doing anything else is all about taking specific actions. So please do this. It will work for you. Today we're going to be laying out for you the overall strategy of creating your dream job so you get a sense of how this works big picture. This will give you a sense of why this is different from other things you might have heard of, why this works better, and most importantly, why it'll work for you. So let's get started here. Now to step back for a moment, University of Life came about because we had the recognition that although traditional education systems, so college, university, high school, that sort of thing, is great at giving students technical skills in their discipline, they tend to be not that great at giving the skills so students can take that information, take that training, and turn it into the career they want. That's especially important nowadays with changes in the economy. So unless you're in some key professions like, say, IT or certain professional schools like law or medicine or certain aspects of business and some science kind of careers, if you're not in those, it can be very, very difficult to create or to find a traditional job or to create one. We think that everybody should have the opportunity to take what they want to do and turn it into the career that they want to have. And luckily, we know that the strategies to do that exist, and that's what we're talking about here. It's just that they don't tend to be all in one place. They're not talked about much in the mainstream institutions, so you don't see much about them in school or university or college. They don't tend to be in the traditional media. They don't talk about them much in jobs in government or business or that sort of thing. The strategies themselves tend to be kind of chopped up and scattered in different books in different disciplines, or on CDs or on online programs or in people's heads or their own experiences. Some of the best places we've found to find this kind of information, this is what we've done, is kind of assemble these together, tested them in our own hands, and then put them into this kind of programming and then tested that with students. They tend to be in things like entrepreneurial business strategy, cognitive psychology, network theory, and even things like the wisdom traditions. So that's why we talk about doing some meditation and that sort of thing, because that actually works. Also, the best way to learn these and integrate them is to do them experientially, especially in the context of something that you really, really, really want to do. That makes it much easier and makes you much more likely to be successful. And it's especially important to do it, or it's helpful, I would say, for most of us, to do it surrounded in an environment where you're around people that have actually done this. So again, this tends to be the kind of thing that isn't in a lot of the traditional educational kind of institutions and in other institutions. Doing this is kind of like learning to play the piano. You actually have to put your fingers on the keys and do it over a period of time, trial and error, and especially with a kind of a coach or a group of coaches or people who have done it before who can be at your side. So that's what we're doing here, and that's why this is structured that way. Another thing I want to bring to your attention is this. There tend to be kind of two types of learning, kind of broadly, as I see it. One type of learning is designed to give you strategies, or what I call strategies. And traditional education tends to be really good at this. So it tends to be stuff like how to tie your shoes, something simple, or something complex, like how to do long division or how to write an English essay. Traditional education tends to be particularly good at teaching, or I should say, tends to be not very good, on the other hand, at teaching non-linear thinking strategies. Things like, what do I want to do and how do I get it? That's the kind of thing we're talking about here. That's what University of Life is about, and that's why we're providing this, is because a lot of traditional educational modalities don't teach that very well. Although that's changing. With changes in the economy, more kind of traditional educational processes and so on are beginning to give this kind of information in this way. So that's strategies. It's how you do stuff, say how you think about things and how you physically do things. Now those are really important for sure, but something that is arguably even more important and is talked about even, or way less, is the importance of understanding your own belief patterns, how they influence your behaviors, and as a result, the outcomes that you get, and how to change your belief patterns. So what do I mean by that? Well, I'll give you an example. So imagine if you were wanting to create your own dream job, but you had the belief, I'll never be able to create my own dream job. I'll never be able to create the career that I want. What beliefs do is they literally act as a neurologic switch in your brain, which prevents you from taking, if you have a belief like that, which will actually prevent you from taking the very actions that will result in you getting your dream job. After all, if your belief was, I'll never be able to create my own dream job, you wouldn't bother watching a YouTube video on how to create your dream job. It wouldn't make sense, and you wouldn't be doing the kind of things that we're advocating here, because your belief is, I can't create my dream job anyway. So your brain would say, why would I bother learning all this stuff? It must be nonsense because it's impossible. So kind of fundamentally, it's important to understand that the outcomes you want, like creating a dream job or getting the experience you need to create that dream job, those are the results of actions that you'll be taking, like learning some new stuff, like getting some volunteer experiences, like getting some initial contract or summer job experiences, like being able to effectively interview. And the actions that you take and the quality of the actions you take will be driven by your beliefs. So it's incredibly important that you become aware of this. It's not talked about a whole lot in this culture. So you be aware of this and have the ability to see what potential limiting beliefs you have that can be preventing you from learning how to get what you want and replacing those with more empowering beliefs. So if you saw that you had the belief, hey, I can't create my dream job, and you were able to, and that belief was stopping you from taking the very actions necessary to actually create your dream job, as it would, I pretty much guarantee it. If you were able to shift that belief to something like, hey, other people have created their dream job, even people with a background and experience like mine, maybe I could do that myself in my own way. When you have a belief like that, you'll start to get thoughts that are consistent with that belief. It'll actually act as a switch to have more empowering thoughts and then more empowering actions. So you will end up having thoughts like, hey, why don't I watch one of these videos? Like, what the heck? What have I got to lose? Or why don't I go and talk to some people who might have some tips on how to do this? If you take that and you start revving up the belief in your mind, like, hey, why don't I just keep focusing on having empowering beliefs, taking actions that make sense as a consequence of that, like learning some new things and trying new things that are consistent with success. If I just keep doing that and just repeating it over and over, eventually I'll get my dream job. And that's absolutely true. At a fundamental level, it is that simple, but it's a matter of seeing that that's what's going on. If you do that, you will actually ultimately be successful. This whole issue of beliefs is so critical, and for me, frankly, it was absolutely critical in me kind of getting to this point, and putting, being able to help other students and so on with this, that I ended up writing a book on it. It's called Brain Shift. You can download it for free. Basically what it does, it shows what beliefs are, it shows the impact they have on your thinking. As a result, it shows the impact it has on the actions and the results you get. Shows you how to see them in yourself and other people and change them using some simple cognitive psychology, which is actually in the literature, it's just usually not assembled kind of in this way. So as a result, not only does it allow you to shift your own belief patterns and take more empowering actions, it also very ethically shows you how to shift beliefs in other people. That's called ethical influence. And of course, it's very, very useful in the process of creating your dream job, because a lot of what you're doing is engaging ethically other people to move them through belief shifts from things like, gee, I don't know you and I don't know why I would hire you, to, hey, maybe you'd be a good person to hire. So if you're interested in this at a deeper level, download BrainShift. You can go to the Novometrics website, www.novometricsinc.com. It's there under free resources, and I encourage you to do that. If you don't, we'll be condensing the fundamentals of that into these YouTube videos. But if you're interested, it would be a good idea. There's some very powerful stuff, I think, and if you have that kind of inclination, it'd be a good idea to check out. In the next half of this two-part series, we're going to be going through in detail the step-by-step process of creating your dream job. So things like how to make a list of people that can help you, how to prioritize that list, how to connect with them effectively so they'll respond, how to control your fear so you're not afraid of connecting, how to set things up so that you aren't afraid, how to do an interview in a way which is unlike anything you've probably seen before, and which is super effective. So we'll be going over that in the next the next video. And in the meantime, have fun. I'd really encourage you to do this. Think about your beliefs. Think about things you've believed in the past that you no longer believe now. Maybe there's some things that you used to believe when you were a little kid that you don't believe anymore. Like you probably believed at one time, probably pretty young, but that your parents knew everything. And I'm betting you don't believe that anymore. I guarantee you there are a whole bunch of things like that now, no matter what age you are. And I'm the exact same way, which prevent us from taking effective action along the lines of what we actually want to accomplish, no matter how simple or how elaborate. So have fun doing that, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks very much.